The Hague court orders Russia to pay $5 billion in compensation for Naftogaz's losses in Crimea.
Here's a summary of the article.
Russia to pay $5 billion in compensation for losses and lost property suffered by Naftogaz in Crimea since 2014. Details. Chernyshov said that this refers to compensation for assets aimed at developing gas fields and other strategically important infrastructure, which became one of the main targets of the aggressor during the occupation of the Ukrainian peninsula 9 years ago. I believe that this is not the last decision that will be made in The Hague in favor of our country, Chernyshov wrote.
This post received a score of 33,000, with an upvote ratio of 92%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
This is not the International Criminal Court, people. The Hague is an actual city with more courts and in this case an arbitration tribunal. This is a civil judgment. The court did not just decide to render a judgment, it was asked to because it had jurisdiction. The judgment can likely be executed domestically and abroad against Russian assets, as civil judgments are mutually recognized in many countries.
There's a convention, the New York Convention, that applies to arbitrations that are not considered as domestic awards in the state where recognition and enforcement is sought. Makes international arbitration very effective.
To everyone commenting about the ICC, this is not the ICC. It's not even the ICJ. In fact, the court mentioned here has nothing to do with either the UN or the other courts in The Hague. It's just an arbitration court, meaning that both parties chose to let it settle this case.
To be fair, that's what the average person is going to think with Hague Court in the headline.
Hence why I felt the need to write this comment. Unfortunately, it's quite common with anything law-related that it just gets so simplified to the point that the actual meaning is distorted.
I also don't doubt that the title is meant to evoke the courts you mentioned to catch people's interest.
You can be all negative if you want, but this is a great step. Having these legal cases helps make the case for seizing Russian assets in the future to fund the rebuilding of Ukraine.
Exactly. They will never pay that from their own pockets, but the more legal cases the better, as without them they'd be crying that West are thieves to Russians for stealing their assets.
Let's be fair though, they're going to claim that regardless.
You might as well just instantly send that bill to collections. You know that Putin isn't going to pay up on that one.
Greater than if Russia refuses to voluntarily comply with the court's decision. In accordance with the New York Convention of 1958, Naftogaz has the right to start the process of recognizing and enforcing the decision in those states where the Russian Federation's assets are located. It's literally in the article.
And this isn't the ICC. For this one even Russia is a signatory, as is the US, and China.
Tsar Nicholas II of Russia was literally the person who proposed the First Hague Peace Conference, which led to the establishment of the Permanent Court of Arbitrage.
And look at how that worked out for him. I see they weren't in any sort of a hurry to judge on that one, given this is related to events from 2014.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.